Assalamualaikum. I'm Nurafifah Binti Abdul Aziz and my supervisor is Syah Rizali Mutar. The title is my final year's project is Hajj and Umrah of human body and environment temperature detection using MIoT. For my introduction, in every year, Malaysia sends tens of thousands of pilgrims to Saudi Arabia, which is home of Islam, to holy site. Depending on the Islamic calendar, Hajj and Umrah may occur during the summer season that may bring greater risk to human body with it has a higher chance of conflict such as dehydration and heat exhaustion or heat stroke. The higher the temperature of environment, so the higher the temperature of human body that can trigger health problems. Therefore, there is a need to do a research for human body temperature and environment temperature detection system that will help the pilgrims to monitor based on health condition. For the problem statement that I have, as we can know of pilgrims who have performed the pilgrim, either Hajj and Umrah could understand the difficulty when thousands or millions of people converge into one place. Next, there are difficulty of the health system notification for the pilgrim, which is health record and health guidelines, infectious disease surveillance and health condition, which is temperature monitoring. That is challenging faced by head of Mutawif to manage the welfare of their own pilgrim for health. Apart of that, the season of the Hajj varies cause of adherence to the Islamic lunar calendar. The Hajj mostly will take place in summer months. Thus, pilgrims will have predisposed to diverse of health risks with chronic disease such as respiratory disease, include asthma, heat stroke, skin dehydrate. That is because of climate change with temperature range between 38 degrees Celsius until 58 degrees Celsius. For the objective, my project design is to notify special user, which is head of Mutawif, monitoring pilgrims' temperature by using MIoT platform. Next, to obtain the pilgrims' real-time health monitoring and to develop a system that is simple, cost-efficient, and easily wearable. Okay, the scope of study for this project will be mainly related to the application of detection, the human body and environment temperature for pilgrim, Hajj and Umrah. This environment will be completed by constructing a prototype that includes hardware. The sensor will be used in application detection of temperature, which is LMX90614 temperature. That sensor to measure the output, and the output will then be sent to the pilgrims and Mutawif so that they're aware the current condition the both of temperature. This project will develop in wearable monitoring device using MIoT, known as Medical Internet of Things, where the data of acquisition will be collected from human body using microcontroller and the output from sensor sent to mobile apps to notify special user for monitoring pilgrims' temperature. Then, the MIoT wearable device obtained to monitor pilgrims' health for the real time that quickly detect the temperature. For the limitation, this project only used two parameters of health system, which are human body and environment temperature. This wearable device can display or show based on the running process of this parameter only. Other than that, this project development is only to detect an early symptom that might cause disease such as fever. For the literature review, these are the comparison between three journals that I found for the literature review that related to my project. For the first article that used a system which is Arduino Uno and Wi-Fi module and the sensor used MLX 90614 as temperature sensor. Sensor article used only microcontroller which is respiratory, Pi, blink apps, and for the sensor this article used LM5 sensor as body temperature. Article for the literature review that a system use ESP32 and Arduino Uno, and sensor use DHT11 sensor as room temperature. For block diagram, starting from the input sign where the temperature get from the human or environment measure with LMX90614 sensor when the buttons switch on. Then LMX90614 is a temperature sensor that read the data from body or object to send signal to the processor. The processor that used in this device is ESP32TTGO non-MCU to analyze the data and integrate a Wi-Fi module that connect to the internet network. After performing the operation, the system display the result at the bracelet and also smartphone application using the Blink apps. For the flowchart, starting from the measure the temperature from the human and environment, the device in mode switch off. That means it cannot measure the temperature from the environment or human. When the wearable device switch on, the both temperature will measure with sensor of temperature which is LMX90614 that carry data from body or object to send signal to the processor. If the measure of temperature is successful, the result from the wearable device are processed in the ESP32TTGO non-MCU and data will received by the pilgrims. If it is not successful, the device will retake the measurement of the temperature from the human body or environment, then proceed to the next step. Last but not least, ESP32 non-MCU also integrate of Wi-Fi module. That means they analyze the data and connect to the internet network. So the data sent to the head of Mutawave using application in the smartphone. This is my preliminary result that measure the temperature by using Proteus. This sensor I use the measure temperature is LM32 because of sensor in Proteus is limited. The right side for value of normal environment temperature and the left side normal value of human temperature. This is graph average of body and environment temperature that I found from article. For the expected result, my project is wearable device that will be detect two parameter which is human body and environment temperature. If the parameter is exceeded the upper and lower limit, the application in smartphone will notify the pilgrims or user itself by popping up notification. Then the application also send the message to notify the head of Mutawif on pilgrim Hajj carrier to notify the pilgrims is unwell condition and the data will store for future reference. Okay, this Gantt chart that I did for this semester. For the conclusion, this project will show the health monitoring in wearable device by using MIoT platform where the data of acquisition will be collected from human body temperature of pilgrim will send to the mobile apps to head of Mutawif. Then this project will have achieving its objective, which is to obtain the pilgrim's real-time health monitoring in two parameters, which is body temperature and environment temperature. Hence, make it easier to monitor current temperature, body and environment in a short time for each individual during pilgrimage. This picture shows the industrial FYP session with the industrial supervisor. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.